See, none of these things I complain about, they don't exist in a vacuum, meaning having to put barbed wire around freeway signs so it won't get tagged is not that doesn't exist in a vacuum. That's literally a sign.
To something.
Yeah, but it's not like, well, that's the only problem we have. It's the freeway signs. It shows it's a bigger picture kind of thing. It's again like when you
symptom.
Yeah, when you see lots of posters saying, hey, be a dad today or something like that. It's bad. It is societally. It's a fucking horrible sign. It may just be a poster in a subway, but it means something globally.
It's an indication.
It's a bad indicator. It's a fucking bad indicator. And again, I always just say, you're walking through the mall of life. You pass the Hickory Farms. The chick's out front with the toothpick and the cellophane. She's got it put in the summer sausage. You take a bite. You don't need to go inside and buy 10 linear feet of sausage to know whether you're going to like that. You just take the one toothpick, and you're good. The barefoot thing, people tweet me pictures all day long of people in movie theaters now with their feet. But they want to be barefoot in a movie theater, but they don't want to put their feet on the ground, so they kick it up onto the headrest of the seat in front of them.
Gross.
It's your bare feet. It's your bare... Remember when bare feet used to be gross and weird and like, ooh, stinky?
Yeah,
and
they still are.
Imagine just working and kicking there's the barefoot in between the two seats of an airplane. There's the barefoot.
The feet coming at you from all angles and from all sides is the worst.
But it's not, this is not a thing where,
you're kicking back at home on your couch.
We didn't make the Surgeon General Dr. Scholl's. And now this has happened. It's just a bigger global problem of us becoming self-absorbed fucking douchebags.
Yeah.
Like everyone just puts their earbuds in, tunes out the world, and goes, fuck everyone. I'm putting my feet wherever the fuck I want, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I am telling you more feet. Go to amcroll.com and see more feet. Feet and dogs. By the way, 8 years from now, it'll be nothing but feet and dogs. There won't even be heads or torsos on airplanes. Just be feet, bare feet, and dogs.
And yet, paradoxically, wouldn't you rather have a dog foot
I'd rather have a dog
near you
paw.
than a
I'd rather have a dog
barefoot?
paw. But
yeah.
I do long for the simpler times when people at least remain in their socks on an airplane. Or if they did, another one people tweeted me. This is barefoot on the table at the diner.
Where's your barefoot shame? If you have to take your shoes off, which first of all I have a problem with that, keep them down by the ground where no one can see them.
Well,
don't wave them around.
I'm going to show up with my kids in a half hour with my order of chili fries and lay them out on said table that was recipient of your stinky bare feet.
Yeah.
Yes, barefoot on the table. And this isn't a thing where it's like, hey, let's break into this restaurant at night so I can experience the sensation of my bare feet on a table. No, this is fucking high noon, prime time.
Yeah.
Everyone's working and everyone's walking around. I'm just got my fucking bare feet everywhere. All right, so we got that. Again, I just use little indicators to little yardsticks, little measuring sticks to tell what colossal douchebags we're all turning into. Brought this one up before, but it's a very interesting little test for me, and I find it again to be one of those things that you wouldn't hold any water in any scientific journal, but it'd be really hard to argue with. As I told you last week, I drove to Santa Monica. I sat in traffic from here to Santa Monica, and it was an hour's worth of plodding along at 4 miles an hour. And because of my hypervigilance and just because of my the way I drive and approach life, I just stare into the rearview mirror. I just drive. I literally look forward with one eye and I stare. And I'm used to just looking for cops and chicken shit tickets, but all I do is stare into the rearview mirror. So when the guy on the motorcycle comes up between us, Dr. Spaz has entered the studio. You tell me what you think of this theory. The guy comes up to split the traffic in the motorcycle. And if you think about it, this guy hasn't changed too much. He's a 20-something-year-old dude who's on a motorcycle, usually 50-something-year-old dudes. I'm not talking about out on a Sunday Harley. I'm talking about weekday noon on the 110 or the 405 freeway. The guy comes up to split. I see him 20 cars back because I'm just tuned that way. And I'll do, and I've been experimenting with it now, a huge move where I move way over. Like just, it is very blunt and graphic how much you've seen me move to the left. Now I'll be in the left lane. I'll be in the fast lane. So there'll be the whole, 5-6 foot shoulder there. And I'll pull over 3-4 feet, just leave my huge berth and just to see what he does. And I was 0 for 10 from here to Santa Monica in terms of guys holding the hand out. Back in the day, Bruce, always. Every time you made that swing out move, I used to ride a motorcycle. If you made the swing out move, you got the hand down low. You got the left hand, not the throttle hand. You got the left hand down low. Thank you, motorist. Thank you for seeing me, being aware of me, and swinging out. There's nothing worse than being pinched when you're slicing through traffic. You make that deliberate move, you get the thank you. It used to be 8. I was 8 out of 10 in the thank you department. I just went 0 for 10. I'm probably 1 for like 28 on my last moves. Just cycle after cycle. You start to notice it. Start doing it, trying it. You don't get what's changed. If the cars change, as a motorcycle, yes, they're better, but what's changed? Or the age of the guys riding it?
Crotch rocket versus gull wing. I think gull wings, you still get more of that. Thank you.
No? You don't get the splitter on the gull wing. They don't do the splitter.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I appreciate the attempt of shitting on the point. No, we're self-absorbed and we're narcissistic. Right. We don't give a fuck about anyone.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
This program is intended for mature audiences only. If you have any homicidal or suicidal feelings, please consult a doctor before listening to this program.
Well, there you go. Good afternoon, good morning, whatever it may be to you. Right here, it's 3 p.m. Eastern in New York City, and it's, HTLA Radio 1 in New York's best talk, as the girl said, which can only mean that it is indeed time for the Thursday Double-Double for this Thursday, the 5th of March, 2015. It's 19 degrees right now in Central Park, and it's snowing like a bugger. Yes, we're broadcasting live from under 4 feet of snow. That's what we're doing right here today. And today, in the old coffee shop, what are we discussing on Coffee and Cigarettes here? Well, we're discussing the Delta plane that skidded off the runway while landing at LaGuardia this morning. Yes, and the Boston bomb victims feel liberated after testimony and those opening arguments we told you about yesterday, of course. And also, a veteran is recruiting a few good men to fight the Islamic State. And yours truly wants to go. Yes, I do. And of course, today, Republican presidential candidate Ben Carson is so very sorry for what he said just yesterday. Yes. Some real longevity to that guy. Well, we've got all that and so much more on today's show, so come on in, grab a cup, have a seat, and light one up, ladies and gentlemen, because, hey, you know, it's coffee time. Well, there you go. Yes, good afternoon. 3:02 in the PM in New York City right now. Yes, 3:02. And, of course, snowing like crazy. Like I said, 19 degrees right now in the park. And, well, you can't see anybody walking their dogs. And if they're out there, well, they're dead. they're just going to be dead. We're not going to get them back. No siree. But anyway, hopefully you're sitting in the warmth and comfort of your home or car or office or wherever you might be and not suffering from any of the cold outside. We keep it quite warm around here, so we're okay so far. Of course, we've got the one and only Jenny McCartney in the booth, the social media goddess herself, pushing those buttons, making the show go again today. And, yeah, the co-hosts. I guess we'll go with the co-hosts. We got some of those, of course. coming to us live via satellite, as always, from his, his perch, I guess, high atop the Mill Bay Studios in beautiful Mill Bay, British Columbia, Canada, is the one and only Louis Lawless. Yes, high atop there. Are you there, Louis?
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yes, we got that. Don't worry.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
You go right ahead, sir. We've got you covered.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
All right. And also joining us from his wonderful, beautiful, stately, I must say, apartment in Manhattan here in the big city is the one, the only, what's his name again? Oh, yes, Gilbert Godfrey. Are you ready, sir?
What the fuck?
Huh? Okay.
I'm ready.
Good. All right.
Yes.
All right, Gilbert Godfrey joining us from his lovely home here in the city. And also joining us is, of course, the one, the only George Takei, all the way from his home in Los Angeles, California. George, thank you for coming.
I think it's a treat to be here talking with you.
Yeah. There you go, and thank you. That's awesome. Tell the folks a little bit about yourself. You know the drill.
I'm George Takei, and when I'm walking down the street, people shout out,
Hey,
Sulu.
Sulu. Yeah.
So I'm known more as Sulu than as George Takei, which is what I really am.
Mm-hmm. Well, and good. And we know. Yeah, we know.
I wasn't expecting that reaction.
I know. It happens. It's all right. And Gilbert.
Yes.
Yes, you've, it's kind of in your contract here for you to come and do the show every day that you get to sing your song. So I guess without further ado, we'll push aside everything else and let you take it away.
Na 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 na, ba ma 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 ma. Oh yeah. Who wants to grow up? Who wants responsibility? Oh no, not me. Who wants to show up and work until you're 93?
Yeah, hit us with the second verse.
Now everybody says you're running wild. The teacher's calling you a problem. Ooh.
Yes, and there he is with his one and only rendition of the Problem Child theme, right there. Yes, Problem Child. He was in, you were in the Problem Child, and then Problem Child 2, and then the made-for-television movie Problem Child 3, I believe. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I'd like to have that as my slogan in life.
Yeah, okay. Well, you can have that. Gilbert Gottfried, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's just so much fun, isn't it? You bet. Well, let's see. We got a lot to talk about on the show today, and
I remember being on your radio show in Chicago.
Oh, do you? Yeah. Okay. All right. I've never actually had a radio show in Chicago.
Yes.
No. I haven't.
Yeah, and I remember we hung out afterwards and had a wild time.
Oh, okay. Did we? Well, wow. News to me. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
It is.
And I remember, too, when we were in the alleyway and zipped up, there was this one, sleazy-looking guy who walked by who was staring at us, and you turned around, and, he was what? What's your problem? And you said, you don't give a shit.
That's okay.
You are a douchebag.
No.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So I could see you feel very uncomfortable talking. Now there was another time you were when I know you're very secretive about your drug problem.
Yeah, that's me. Okay, well, there you have it, Gilbert. Thank you so much for that. That's great, reliving all those old memories.
Yes.
And.
Now, here's a story I'm sure you're tired of talking about. I'd be remiss in not bringing it up, and that's when you beat up a transvestite.
Of course it is, yes. That's what I did. Yes, that was me. Yes. Oh man.
About fucking time. Move on.
Yeah, we're gonna. Gilbert, that was great and everything, but yeah, we're gonna move on with the show today because that was a little nuts and something that actually wasn't in the little write-up descriptor there of the show today was, of course, my 5 reasons for not to watch bears having sex. Yeah. No, it's very serious. This is serious. You know, being from Canada myself, you know, there's oftentimes when Canadians come into contact with bears having sex. Yeah. And you just it's a serious thing. So if we could you know be serious for just a minute here, okay? Can we?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Break for a commercial.
Okay. Well, we will when it's time. You were bang on the money yesterday, but
yes.
We'll see how good you do or not do today. Yes, yes. Okay, so the number 1 reason not to watch bears having sex, okay? If they become aware of your presence, they will make eye contact with you while they climax. A beargasm lasts up to 23 minutes. and no, I'm serious here. It lasts up to 23 minutes, and you will be frozen in fear as they stare you down without blinking for nearly half an hour. And yes, while depositing 4 gallons of semen into their partner and into your soul. Yes. All right, so reason number 2, if you do catch them climaxing, and oh boy, will they climax, the male bear will let out a deafening roar. And I don't know how it's possible, but that roar will sound remarkably like the name of your deceased dog. Bears are known to pick their next mate while beargasming. The only criteria they use for choosing a lover is hearing someone say, "Oh, look, 2 bears doing it, let's watch." Based on scientific fact, there is a 100% chance you'll say this when you randomly encounter 2 bears having sex. Do not otherwise, you're next. And if you need a reminder as to why this is a bad idea, 23-minute orgasm. All right, and reason number 4 to not watch bears having sex, of course, is bears having sex is illegal in 48 out of 50 states. I did the checking here. No, I did.
Yes.
Yeah, I really did. Because, well, you know, Canadian, you come to America, you got to know the laws about, bear sex. Right? So, yes, it's illegal in 48 out of 50 states. The moment you witness a bear inside another bear and decide to watch for a few hours, you're an accomplice to a crime. Yeah. The jail sentence varies, but it's usually no more than 6 months. Not so bad, but the catch is if you must share a cell with one of the bears. Also see number 3. And finally, the 5th reason for not watching bears having sex, of course, is while your bear sex textbooks, or sex books, as we call them in Canada, may say otherwise, a bear's vagina bears a strong resemblance to your face. Of course, no matter what you look like, and a bear's penis, well, looks like a bear's penis. But put them together and you've got a mental image for the rest of your life. And unless that's your thing, yeah. And in that case, the list may be entitled 5 Reasons to Catch Bears Having Sex, and good luck with your vagina face. Yeah. Woo-hoo, yeah, baby.
Break for a commercial.
All righty. There you go. So there's a little bonus on today's Coffee and Cigarettes. The little bonus 25 reasons there not to get bear face sex or something.
The music is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta hear it.
Oh, you know. Yes, that's what you got rolling here. Okay, well, listen, we could go for our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll tell you about that plane that skids out of control at LaGuardia. Back in 2.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonnieville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow, that's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Monton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, none of it. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out. Ottawa, Wawa, Mattawa, Chippewa, Moose Jaw, Oshawa.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slick back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out of style. We never go out of style. Take me out.
There's only one place to get more Taylor.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
I've been on enough radio shows to know that in the middle of an answer, the guy is like checking the boards and looking over notes and talking to other people. Yes. See? Now you're impressed.
Yeah. You betcha, baby. We're impressed.
Yes.
Welcome back to the big program this afternoon on Coffee and Cigarettes, HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk, and the Thursday double for this Thursday, the 5th of March, 2015. 19 degrees in Central Park right now, and it's sucking pretty hard.
But I love every second of it.
Yes. You would. But hey, you know, what are you going to do, right? So thanks to, Gilbert's rendition of our Fast Times in Chicago, was it? Yeah, our Fast Times in Chicago there. That kind of ate up the first segment, so I'm a little behind now. Yeah, I am. So what am I going to do?
Break for a commercial.
No, I'm not going to break for a commercial.
About fucking time. Move on.
All right. Well, let's get the show on the road here, and let's get to something serious like the Delta plane that skidded off the runway this morning, landing at LaGuardia. A Delta flight from Atlanta with 125 passengers aboard skidded right off the runway upon landing during a steady snowfall at New York's LaGuardia Airport today, and came to a stop in a snowbank. The passengers on Flight 1086 used emergency slides to leave the aircraft, according to the airlines. The nose of the McDonnell Douglas MD-88 aircraft skidded into a fence, according to Steve Coleman, spokesman for the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, which oversees the airport, of course. 3 minor injuries were reported. Well, I'm sure the lawsuit's not going to be minor. 1 person with a neck injury and 2 with back injuries, according to New York and New Jersey and the New York Port Authority dispatchers. Officials were also evaluating 5 pregnant women, because that's just what you do. Got to evaluate those pregnant women. All of the passengers were taken to a bus to a nearby Delta terminal. The Port Authority dispatcher said the plane was carrying a crew of 5. The incident occurred around 11 this morning and forced a halt to all traffic in and out of the crucial New York hub, of course. Port Authority officials, however, are preparing to open at least one runway, number 422, around 1 o'clock this afternoon, and, of course, it opened just fine. Our priority, of course, is ensuring our customers and crew members are safe, the airline said in a statement. Delta will work with all authorities and stakeholders to look into what happened in this incident. And just a flying guess from the crash man here, I'm going to say rubber tires, snow. That's just a guess on my part, but of course we'll have to wait for the official FAA report on that. So while we wait for that report, we'll continue on and tell you about the Boston bomb victim who feels liberated after, of course, the report of the opening arguments yesterday by the plaintiffs and defense attorneys in the Boston Marathon bombing court case that began yesterday with the defense attorney saying, "He did it!" I want to know how to sign up to get that lawyer. Anywho, Boston. One of the first Boston Marathon bombing victims to testify in the trial of Dakozar Sarniev had a message for him Wednesday night. Yes. And no, it wasn't the story of some alley in Chicago. Yeah. Nice of you to surprise me with that again today there. That's nice. Yes, well, the quote is, "You are a coward, a little boy who wouldn't even look me in the eyes." Rebecca Gregory, who lost much of her left leg, posted her open letter to Sarniev on her Facebook page just hours after giving her emotional testimony in federal court yesterday. By noon today, the letter had drawn more than 21,000 likes and more than 1,300 comments. In court yesterday, Gregory of Houston told how she tried to help her 5-year-old son, Noah, who cried, "Mommy, Mommy, Mommy," but her own injuries were too severe to respond. "My bones were lying next to me on the sidewalk," Gregory said from the stand. "A few feet from Sarniev at that point, I felt that was the day I would die." In the letter, Gregory wrote that Sarniev had been a fixture in her nightmares since the day of April 2013 bombing. But after facing him in court, the fear was apparently gone. I guess it helps to have that defense attorney saying, "He did it!" Just a guess, you know.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut, always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's a American. Look how they took the country away from England.
There you go.
Yes.
Gilbert, that wasn't funny. Just yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, on Thursday, Boston police officer Frank Chiola has testified, recalling when the first bomb went off. He rushed in the direction of the sound and smoke. When a second bomb went off about 30 yards behind him, he said people were running, screaming, and crying. There were people on the ground, Chiola said. You couldn't tell who was alive or who was dead. It was total chaos. Chiola performed CPR on a victim named Crystal. Prosecutor Nadine Pellegrini asked about her condition and injuries. He said she was suffering. She was in pain and shock, Chiola said, from the waist down. It's really tough to describe. It was a complete mutilation, he said. Later, double amputee Jeffrey Ballman gave the trial's first account of an encounter with the alleged bomber. Ballman was at the finish line where everyone was cheering except one young man who bumped into him. He wore a black cap pulled low, aviator sunglasses, and a hoodie. He was carrying a black bag. He looked very suspicious, Bowman said. He was alone. He didn't look like he was enjoying the race. Moments later, the backpack the man had been carrying was sitting on the ground. Bowman said he considered alerting authorities, but didn't. Screw it. No, there's nothing in there. Boom. Oh, I know it's not nice to joke about that. It's just not. But hey, you know.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Oh, me too. It's the feel-good stories of the year, yeah? Oh,
you are a douchebag.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he says, I figured somebody just forgot it. It was in Boston. Stuff like that doesn't happen. When the bomb went off, one of Bowman's legs was devastated, and the other one was blown off below. Blown off below the fibula. There you go. See, you just got to give me a little bit of time. I can squeeze it out. Yeah. I was with my brother, and I was like, that's the kid, he said. It was a relief that I got to help out and do my part, he says. During opening statements Wednesday, Assistant U.S. Attorney William Weinrub described the blast as a gory scene of carnage perpetrated by a cowardly bomber. The defendant's goal that day was to maim and kill as many victims as possible, he said. He believed that he was a soldier in a holy war against the Americans and believed that he had taken a step towards reaching paradise. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it could be. I think Rikers is a paradise, right, George?
Yes. You are a douchebag.
I know. It's okay. I'm okay with that. Yes, and the infamous defense lawyer Judy Clark, now famous for her statement in opening court yesterday, he did it. Oh, man. Yes, well, she pleaded with the federal court jury to approach the case with an open mind. He did it. Oh, man. Yeah, that's the way to do it right there. And suggested Sarnyev's brother, Tamerlan, was the mastermind. Yes, the evil mastermind of the 2013 attack that killed 3 people and injured more than 260. Again, I'll tell you that Sarniev faces 30 charges in connection with the blast. He's also charged with killing of a Massachusetts Institute of Technology police officer just days after the bombing. 17 of the counts involved carry the death penalty. Sarniev is accused of conspiring with Tamerlan Sarniev, who was killed 4 days after the blast, as the brothers fled police. Fled police. Yes. If the jury convicts Sarniev, the trial will move to a second phase to determine his punishment. The only 2 options available for the jury are life in prison or the death penalty. So, I don't know. I really got to ask the question. I really just got to ask it. Do we need to spend all this money and all this time? Really?
I wasn't expecting that reaction.
No. Well, yeah, because, he's going to have life in prison or the death sentence. He's done. Either way, it's not looking too great. Not like that weekend in Chicago, yeah. So, I'm just kind of wondering, why spend what? Yeah, I don't know. Seems like a waste of bloody time to me. But hey, there's payback a-coming. Yes, there is. Because there's a veteran, a real American out there, and he's recruiting a few good men to fight those Islamic sons of biatches. Yes, there is. In Jacksonville, Florida, a U.S. veteran is putting out a call to fight the Islamic State on the extremists' own turf. I guess he's doing it on Twitter. Sean Rowe of Jacksonville, Florida, who said he served in the Army 8 years, is looking for a few good vets with a minimum of 4 years of military experience. There's been strong support and numerous veterans who are interested in going, said Rowe, who started the group Veterans Against ISIS, but is the only one who has committed to the fight so far. I will be talking with them and screening them. I want to keep it small and simple. The kidnappings, beheadings, and other violence attributed to the Islamic extremist recently motivated him to take action, he said. I'm not scared of these guys. They can come for me if they want, but I'm going to take the fight to them instead, he says. No federal laws prohibit people from flying to other countries and acting as mercenaries, but former FBI Special Agent Ron Worth said that law-abiding citizens need to keep other laws in mind. If you are training with automatic weapons or weapons or explosives or rocket launchers, you may be exposing yourself to criminal prosecution, Worth said. Well, that's support for the American way right there, yeah? Thanks a lot. We're going to go and risk our lives to deal with these idiots because the government won't. And we're going to be prosecuted because we're playing with automatic weapons. You don't know how to do that. Really? Yeah. Well, Rowe wouldn't be guaranteed medical treatment if he were injured, Worth said, and he wouldn't be protected under the Geneva Convention. Oh, yes, because that's so damned important. Yeah.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut, always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's American. Look how they took the country away from England.
Well, England aside, it's going to be dangerous, but that's a risk anyone who signs up for this is voluntarily taking, Worth said. Other veterans, including Jordan Mattson of Wisconsin and Jeremy Woodard of Texas, who joined Kurdish militias fighting the Islamic State in Syria, and Lewis Park of Texas and Brent Royals of Michigan, who left for northern Iraq to join the Assyrian Christian militia group Dequanasha. I'm going to go with Dequanasha, yeah? I'm just going to, because that's, I think, correct. Well, they've already traveled overseas to join the anti-ISIL militias. Rowe doesn't have a strategy or a group of fighters he wants to join. We just need to be in the area, he said, just to leave it to us. Don't worry about it. He's also not concerned about being a terror target. Do they care about Jacksonville? I don't think they care about Jacksonville, Rowe said. They aren't going to come for me. But warfare should be left to active duty professionals, Worth says. The fighting of the war should be left to acting military who are trained and know the latest consequences of what's going on, he said. If you want to volunteer for something, volunteer to help the veterans who have come back. People need your help here at home. And that's probably the smartest goddamn thing that FBI guy has ever said. I'm thinking it is. I really am. There you go. Don't sit there and go, well, you're going to be prosecuted because you're playing with guns, and we can't have that. Yeah. Well, it is time to go for our second commercial of the afternoon. And when we come back, we're going to tell you all about Ben Carson. Yes, you remember him, the Republican presidential hopeful who just yesterday came out and said that being gay is a choice. Well, today he's coming out saying he's sorry for saying that being gay is a choice. That's a guy who's going to get my vote. Absolutely, the staying power of the man. You know.
Break for a commercial.
All right, we'll go and we'll be back in 2 minutes and get on this Ben Carson dealio. Hang on, gang.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonnieville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow, that's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Monton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, Nunavut. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out. Ottawa, Wawa, Mattawa, Chippewa, Moose Jaw, Oshawa.
It could be 7 in the morning. Or 10 at night.
In Chilliwack, BC.
Or St. Peter's, Nova Scotia.
It could be Michelle.
Or Mark.
Or Jen.
But whenever, wherever you order that cup of Tim Hortons Premium Blend Coffee,
You know that it's always fresh.
From Newfoundland and Labrador to Vancouver Island, Tim Hortons, a coffee all our own.
You walked into the hotel as a 5. But when she saw the room, you turned into a weird 7. When she saw the rooftop pool, you went to 11. You two should probably get a room. Oh, that's right. You already did. At Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site, Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other to drive through the West Village, at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out of style. We never go out of style. Take me out.
There's only one place to get more Taylor.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
I did not sleep with him.
Oh, you guys are crazy today, let me tell you. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the show. The show being Coffee and Cigarettes on HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. I host with you today, Christopher Crash Jesus Taylor, sitting in for Christopher Crash Jesus Taylor. Yeah, I'm not actually here. I'm just a reasonable facsimile. So anyway, 3:39, and thanks to Gilbert there, we screwed up and went for a commercial break too damned early.
Break for a commercial.
No. He's got us all over the place here on the map. But what do you do? It's Gilbert Gottfried, for God's sakes, you know?
We were 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award.
And you didn't.
And we did. That's the famous story about Jerry Lee Lewis. You heard that story, haven't you? Sitting behind his desk at Paramount, talking with big executives and TV people, and all of a sudden the chick pops up underneath, wipes off her mouth, and walks out the door, and Jerry doesn't bat an eye.
Well, you know, yes, those big executives there. Well, hey, you know, that's a good thing too, you know.
He needs love, Chris. Come on.
Mm-hmm. I know.
You got to dispense more love from yourself. All these people are hurting here.
Oh, you owe it to yourself.
All righty, well, let's get back to the old program. Of course, before the commercial break, I told you when we came back, we're going to talk about the Republican presidential candidate that I don't think anybody knows about. But good old Ben Carson there, the black neurosurgeon who came out yesterday. Of course, we reported to everybody at Coffee and Cigarettes about him saying that being gay is actually a choice, and cited prisons were his evidence that homosexuality is, of course, an option. Yeah. I guess he never heard about gang rape or... Yes.
You are a douchebag.
I know. Well, anyway, today, yes, a scant 24 hours later, he's already come out and apologized today for saying that being gay is a choice, following the huge backlash over his assertion that prisons are evidence that homosexuality is, of course, an option. In a recent interview on CNN, I realized that my choice of language does not reflect fully my freaking brains. Yeah, no, that's not what he said. I just made that up. I realized that my choice of language does not reflect fully my heart on gay issues. That's it. Yes, he said, the retired neurosurgeon and Republican on Facebook. Again, your news source. Yeah. I regret my words to express that concept were hurtful and divisive. For that, I apologize unreservedly to all that were offended. And, you know, in all the political advertising that you get, you know, every 4 years for the big national campaigns, you know, and at the end of every one, the candidate's like, I'm Barack Obama and I approve this message, right? Right? And you know, they do that, right? Well, this guy's going to be like, I fully apologize unreservedly to all that were offended by my commercial. Yeah. I'm telling you, that might actually win it for him, right? Well, Carson launched a 2016 Presidential Exploratory Committee earlier this week. I wonder if they're his old brain surgery patients. Yeah. Yes. He has a faithful following among conservatives who are mildly retarded. Yes. And is doing better in some public opinion polls where voters or prospective voters did not get past grade 4. There we go. When asked earlier in the day by CNN's Chris Cuomo if he believes being gay was a choice, Carson again replied, absolutely. Yes. Because a lot of people who go into prison straight, and when they come out, they're gay, he told CNN. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Really? My I should qualify that. My Canadian common sense tells me this guy shouldn't even run. He doesn't deserve a line on the ballot. And, of course, he'll probably win now. Yeah. And, of course, in the future, we'll be bitching about his birth certificate or something equally as strange. Yeah.
Break for a commercial.
I think the candidate here should break for a commercial first, damn it. Because a lot of people go into prison straight, and when they come out, they're gay. You bet. So did something happen while they were in there? Ask yourself that question, he says. Oh, that reminds me of that thing with George and Thursdays in the Yard. Yeah.
Yes.
The American Psychological Association and other medical groups have concluded that the candidate is insane. Yes. No, okay. The American Psychological Association and other medical groups have concluded that homosexuality is not a matter of choice. There we go. I actually read it that time, so there. All right, Carson, who has gained notoriety as a surgeon for his work separating conjoined twins, noted in his Facebook statement that he is a political neophyte. I answered a question without really thinking about it thoroughly. Well, there's a politician we want, yeah. I deeply regret my statement, and I promise you on this journey of change...
Yes.
Journey of change, that sounds familiar. On this journey of change, I may err again. Oh, I'm that stupid. I'm going to do it again, so please remember me on November 12th. Wow, okay. I may err again, but unlike politicians... Oh, so he's separating himself from politicians now because he's saying... Unlike politicians, when I make a mistake, I will take the full brunt and never hide or parse words. Like, I'm going to make this statement today, and then tomorrow I'm going to apologize profusely for it. Thank you.
The music is fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, you got to hear it.
Oh, my God. Ben Carson. For more information, go to bencarson2016.com. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, let's get on to something that makes a little more sense, I guess. I know, you're all quiet. None of you believe me. Well... This is actually another case for the defense lawyer for the Boston bomber case, actually. Man confesses to killing and brings the body to the lawyer's office. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, not even kidding. In Fort Myers, Florida, a man who drove a dead neighbor to his attorney's office, claiming he killed him in self-defense, will not be arrested, his attorney Robert Harris said late Wednesday. John Marshall walked into Harris's law firm Wednesday claiming he had killed a man in self-defense in Bokeela, and brought the body with him in the bed of his pickup truck. Only in Florida. Yeah. Well, maybe in Texas, too. Maybe in Texas. Lee County Sheriff's deputies on the scene declined to confirm whether Marshall will be arrested or not. Marshall spent the majority of Wednesday holed up at the Harris law firm. At 10:33 p.m., Marshall, who had injuries, left his lawyer's office bound for Lee Memorial Hospital. Marshall exited the practice wearing a black jacket over his head to avoid the news cameras waiting for him outside to get a gander at someone just that stupid. Yeah. Well, Marshall told his attorney that he had wrestled the gun away from the other man and fatally shot him in the scuffle earlier in the afternoon, Harris said. Marshall, 52, had a swollen lip, a freshly missing tooth, another tooth that was chipped, and he looked like he had 2 broken thumbs, Harris said. Marshall said he brought the man into the attorney's office because he didn't know who else to trust. The attorneys called 911 shortly after he arrived at the law firm, of course, at 4 p.m. The 2 men had been in some sort of a dispute over property work in Bokila, Harris said. Marshall had called the attorneys days before the incident, saying that he feared for his safety. The lawyers said they had advised him to get a restraining order. In the cleanest cut case of self-defense I've ever seen, Harris said. Yes, he did it.
You are a douchebag.
I know I am, yes. Well, Harris said that Marshall told him he remembers little about the fight or the 30-mile, roughly, drive from Bokila to the law offices. He called his wife, but doesn't remember the conversation. Well, I bet you the wife can make you remember damn fast, boy. You wanting some broken thumb sex tonight, you gotta be putting up and remembering what I said, you little... Yeah, I believe he's in shock, he says, probably now still. A few hours after Marshall arrived, he's still breathing heavy. He's looking like a man who lost the world. The Lee County Sheriff's Office said Wednesday night only that investigators were looking into the death and the back of the pickup truck. Yeah. Harris said he's never handled a case involving a client bringing a body with him. They don't teach you about this in law school, that's for sure. I believe we've handled ourselves correctly, but I'm a little in shock myself. This is not something that happens every day. Really? You don't say. I am absolutely amazed that this doesn't happen every day. That's insane.
Use power. Yeah. That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. We see it in every job. It's the same thing.
Well, no, Louis, we just said we don't see it every day. No. And finally today in the old coffee shop, well, what is there left to talk about, gang, but the weather? And it's a sad tale indeed. Wintry blast in the east is slamming Kentucky now with heavy snow. Yeah. Bitter winter storm stretching from North Texas to New England Thursday dumped heavy snow in the Midwest and the East, including almost 2 feet in parts of Kentucky. Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear declared a state of emergency for the second time in less than a month now to allow the National Guard to assist stranded travelers. This comes to us from the Courier-Journal. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet labeled all counties in District 5, which includes Jefferson County and the city of Louisville, as completely covered, said spokesperson Andrea Clifford. You can't see the pavement, you can't see the markings, it's difficult to see where the road is and where the shoulder is, she said. In the small town of Baystown, Kentucky, with 23 inches that they've received from most of the storm so far, has only 3 inches now off the all-time state record for a snowstorm, according to the Weather Channel. Lexington, Kentucky has received a total of 14.5 inches so far, the city's all-time record for a 2-day dump. Some form of precipitation, snow, sleet, freezing rain, or plain rain, will fall Thursday over most of that eastern third of the country, with the heaviest snow likely from the Ohio Valley to the mid-Atlantic, where up to 10 to 12 inches are likely. At least 80 million people will pick up at least 1 inch of snow from this storm, according to Weatherbill meteorologist Ryan Maugh. The collision of cold air from the north with moisture from the south triggered winter storm warnings in Little Rock, Memphis, Louisville, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia, Washington, and, of course, right here in little old New York City. And, well, how's Boston doing, you may ask? Well, the beleaguered Boston will miss out on the worst of the storm, sparing the city the chance to break its all-time seasonal snow record, which I'm sure everybody's really down about, yeah? At least for now. As of Thursday morning, Boston had picked up 105.7 inches of snow, 1.9 inches below its record of 107.6. Chattanooga, Tennessee, Roanoke, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina are all under winter weather advisories right now. North Texas got more than 3 inches of snow overnight, handing the Dallas-Fort Worth area its fourth largest snow total ever for the month of March. Some areas in the metropolitan area got 6 more inches than expected, with Grapevine, Texas, recording as much as 7 inches over. From 5 to 19 inches of snow is still expected in northeastern Kentucky and northeastern Virginia, throughout southern New Jersey, most of Delaware, and Washington, D.C. Memphis, New York City, and southern New England could also see another 3 to 12 inches. Federal offices are buttoned up in Washington for the day as the heavy snow began hitting that area by mid-morning. Much of the south that escapes the snow Thursday will face the wintry mix and ice sleet. Otherwise, rain and a few thunderstorms are still likely along the Gulf Coast and the southeast coast. Florida will stay hot and sunny as temperatures soar to the 80s along the coast and near 90 degrees inland. And that's just, man, it's nutty. It's getting bad, you know, I think so.
But I love every second of it.
Well, you never go out. That's right. That's what it is. You just never go out, do you? No, of course not. Well, let's see. What else we got?
It seemed like Dean Martin was uncomfortable, too.
Well, it could have been the snow, but I think it's more a lack of booze. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Anywho, gang, we're wrapping her up here right now. Where's the wrap-up music, Jenny? Wake the hell up, woman. What are you doing? Nah, thank you. Well, thanks for listening on this Thursday double-double to Coffee and Cigarettes, HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. A reminder to head on over to HTLARadio1.com. Check out the website and all the wonderful shows we have for you aside from this one, because there's just so much more than Gilbert Gottfried, yeah.
I'd like to have that as my slogan in life. Break for a commercial.
Yes. That's... Well, Gilbert, thank you for everything today, and we'll catch you tomorrow for sure, eh?
Thank you for listening, and support the show for the love of God.
Alrighty, and thank you, of course, Louie, for your lovely attendance today. You weren't talking much today.
Which woman are you married to or living with now? The same one? The mother of the daughter, or was it a boy?
What's your name? Yeah.
about fucking time. Move on.
All right. Well, moving on. Thank you, George Takei, for being here once again.
I've enjoyed it thoroughly. It has been a fantastic experience.
That's pretty damn good, if you ask me. And a reminder again to all of you that tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, you can catch Coffee and Cigarettes, the Friday Frappuccino. So for all of us here at HTLA, Jenny in the booth is bouncing, waving bye-bye. You guys have a good day.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
It's about fucking time. Move on.